In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your power steering pump on your Toyota Camry. It's located on the passenger side under the hood. Remove your hubcap using a pry bar. Just get it in there, slowly go around. And once it's unhooked, take it off. Remove your lug nuts using a 21mm socket. Remove your wheel. We're going to remove our power steering fluid. Remove the cap. And you're going to siphon it out. I have a drain bucket next to me. And I'm going to use a siphon and drain the fluid. Do that until the reservoir is empty. That looks good. Remove your drain pan. And now we're going to disconnect the hose going to the pump from the reservoir. We're going to remove our hose clamp and push it up. Use needle nose with a hook on them or adjustable pliers or something of the equivalent. Squeeze that and push the hose clamp up. Now I would take this and just squeeze and turn, make sure it's free. I'm going to take my pry bar and pry off the hose off the line. Make sure you have a drip pan below. Now you're going to put a 1 1/16" wrench on this nut right here. And we're going to take off the line on the top. After you get your wrench in place, I'm going to go back up and I'm going to take out that line from up top. So now we're going to loosen our line from above. You can try getting it from underneath, but I think it's easier from above with an extension and a swivel socket. It's a 17mm. Make sure your drain bucket is below again. And I'm going to remove this the rest of the way. There is a washer or gasket on this banjo line. So I'm just going to leave my bolt in there. And remove my line from the power steering pump. So there should be a gasket on either side of that line. Might be a good idea to put a plug in the top of the power steering pump for when you do start taking it apart and taking it off the engine. Now we're going to go back underneath and remove the pump. We can remove our wrench. I'm going to use a 14mm socket and remove the bolt that's through the pulley. So if you look through the pulley, you're going to find this bolt here. We're going to go for that. Once you crack that loose, you can probably get it out by hand. Just unscrew it the rest of the way. I've swapped out for a 1/2" socket. I mean, not a 1/2". I've swapped out for a 1/4" socket. So I can get it out without rubbing up against the frame of the car. And once we get close enough, I'm going to take this off and take out the bolt. So you're going to reach down there, and where this yellow plug is, I'm going to move over here towards the front of the car, push in on that connector. There's a little tab at the top to push in on, and remove it. It may take a bit to get it off though. Remove the connector. You're going to need a low profile ratchet and a long socket in a 1/4 inch drive to get to the second bolt on this power steering pump. Break it loose and remove it. Make sure you have a hand on the actual pump because that's the only thing left that's holding it to the engine. And remove my ratchet. I'm going to remove this bottom bolt that I left there. You can remove that bolt completely if you'd like. And you may hit up against the side of the frame there. I'm actually going to remove this bolt completely because it's in my way. Now we're going to remove our pump. Your drip pan should still be below. And just let that drain for a sec. And now you can remove the pump from the vehicle. And your tool. Now you can bring it out through the wheel well. Before installing your power steering pump, it's a good idea to get this loose. Mine was really tight, so I'm going to make sure it's like finger tight. So when we're up top putting that line on, it's easy to take off. And this I would keep on, just slip it off a little bit, so it's easier when you're inside the car. Next, I'm going to try to put this pump in with the 2 bolts already in the pump. Since it's so hard to get them past that frame, I think it's a good idea. Also, this area where there looks like there should be a bolt, there is no bolt. The one next to this sensor. So to put it in, we're going to go through the back side of the wheel well over the tie rod. Now we're getting this in the car. Make sure that sensor is up and where the lines go are also up. Have your bolts out slightly towards the pulley and reach up and try to engage the pulley where the bolts go. Again, you might have to pull them out and get them hooked in there. I've got a pretty good point of view from underneath. Just make sure your bolt is not hanging out on the back side of it because it won't get past the bracket that way. After you've pushed it into place, you're going to make sure that this lower bolt is lined up going through. And if you go underneath the vehicle and you're next to the exhaust, you can peek up and see if it's lined up on the top bolt. Now we're going to get that bolt started, the lower one. So turn your pulley until you can feel that bolt and try to get it going. You may have to move the pump around a little bit if it's slightly off. Now you're going to get your bolt started and get it going in. Once you get it in a pretty good amount of ways, you're going to get that upper bolt started. It feels pretty good. Now would be a good time to go look underneath and up next to the exhaust and see if that upper bolt is still lined up. If it is, go ahead and try to start that. If it's not, you're gonna have to push the power steering pump forward or pull it out a little bit. Get your socket on that head of the nut, and you're gonna wanna try to get that going by hand. Once you can feel that it's going in, you're gonna continue the rest of the way, and then we're gonna torque those 2 bolts. Once you have both bolts hand tight, you're gonna torque those to 22 foot-pounds. Let's start with this bottom one. If you can't get a torque wrench in there, do your best. Go to the top bolt, same thing. I'm using a long-handled 1/4-inch ratchet with a 1/4-inch 14mm socket. You're not going to get enough torque with just a short-handled 1/4-inch ratchet. Now we're going to install our line up top and also that connector. So you're going to want to put your wrench in place and hold this still. So I'm going to leave my wrench there so it holds it still. And we're going to go up top. So here we are up top. Now we're going to plug in our connector on top of the pump. I'm going to go in here, find it, go by feel and push it on. You should hear a click of some sort, like that. And then you're going to go over here, find your line, make sure that bolt is in there still with the washers. And you're going to take out the plug where your wrench is. So on top there's a plug. We already loosened it, so it should be pretty easy. Unscrew it the rest of the way and remove it. And now we're going to put our line on top. Get that bolt started. And now we're going to torque that bolt. So this stopper right here, make sure that that's in the right spot. And it's going to stop as you turn the bolt. We're going to reach down and set up our socket and extension to tighten down this line. I'm using a swivel with a rounded extension going to an extra long extension, going to a 3/8 ratchet. So once that's snug, we're going to torque it. We're going to torque it to 38 foot-pounds. And now it's torqued. Now we can go below, take the wrench out, and put the other line on. Remove your wrench, and now we're going to install our other line. Put the hose on, slide it down. The hose should go about to here. There's a little stopper on the actual line itself, the metal part, and then on the end there's a bigger part. You want that hose clamp to go past that bigger part over here into the old spot where it was. So I'm going to use my needle nose, same ones I used to take it off or push it down and bring it back where it was. Now we're going to clean the area and make sure there's no power steering fluid all over the place. I'm going to use some brake parts cleaner for that. Now we're going to fill our power steering fluid. We're going to look at our cap and see what it says. This one says use Dextron type ATF, automatic transmission fluid. So we're going to remove our cap. So you're going to fill this up to about max. There's a little line on the side that says max. And after you're done filling it up, you're going to get in the car. You're not going to start the vehicle. You're going to make sure the front wheels are off the ground. And you're going to turn the wheel to the left and to the right slowly, I'd say about 30 times. Nice and slow and even. And that's going to get the air out of the system. Then you're going to check your power steering reservoir again. Top it off if needed. Make sure there's no air bubbles in it. If there's air bubbles, you want to keep doing that. Now you can put your cap back on after you've bled the system. Before turning your wheel back and forth, make sure you put your cap back on and make sure it's fully closed. Because when you turn that steering, this fluid is going to want to spray out if you don't do so. Put your wheel on. Start your lug nuts. Make sure you have the tapered side in. We're going to tighten these in a star-like pattern. I usually put the lower one on the bottom and I walk the rim on. Using a 21mm socket, we're going to torque our lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. Line up your valve stem with the hubcap and slowly push it on using a rubber mallet. Go around the perimeter.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.